So, I mean, no, this is all theater of the mind. So, I'm just saying Michigan was where they ran their main operation in the 90s, pre-demonization, before the Fed staged Oklahoma City.
Do you think that more and more people in America are turning to militias because they're unhappy with the way the government's being run now? Do you think that's true?
The people see the illegitimate actions of the government. They see the $23.7 trillion stolen in 10 months. More than double the GDP. They see the government doing unconstitutional things across the board while amassing paramilitary forces, announcing 400,000 combat troops to be deployed. The government saying gun owners are terrorists, veterans are terrorists, Ron Paul supporters are the big threat. And so, yes, we've seen all-time records for a solid year, gun buying and purchasing. Mm-hmm. And the real militias aren't going to talk to you. You're never going to see them, and they're everywhere. And usually it's 4 or 5 good friends, former military, who have a little shooting club. And they, in fact, print me off the Gadsden flag quote again. I think that's good to describe the real militia, what Benjamin Franklin said about it. Why our original symbol was not the eagle, it was the rattlesnake. And the Marine Corps' first symbol was not the anchors, but the rattlesnake, because it's not looking for trouble, but its eyes are never blinking. It's always got, it's always watching, and it rattles its tail and says, "Don't tread on me." And so the people are arming up in mass, and they're aware of the FEMA camps, they're aware of the entire agenda, and they're ready to defend the republic. And but they're not looking for trouble. It's defensive. They're not out to attack, and they understand the provocateurs. They understand whoever shoots first loses. But they're also ready that as the tyranny pushes them into a corner, like Lexington and Concord, they're going to stand up for their rights. And then the establishment, who are bullies, will probably fire the first shot in the Second American Revolution. And then all hell's going to break loose.
Do you think that's going to happen soon?
I would say it's 50-50 that in the next 2 years, you will see the start of a real revolution in the United States, a violent revolution in response to people being attacked. And pregnant mothers being tasered and CPS kidnapping people's children and the whole prison economy just squeezing and pushing and pushing and never stopping. But I'm fighting to stop that and to reach out to military and police and others. You know, Ron Paul got more contributions than any other presidential candidate in both parties from the military, 70+%. So the truth is, these offshore banks that have hijacked our government and want to use the military and Northcom against us, it's going to fail.
So what do you think that the real militias, as you call them, the ones where they've got the 4 or 5 friends who go out and they practice, what are they preparing for? What is it that
they're not going to quarantines? They're not letting anybody take their children. They're not taking forced inoculations. They're not going to be forced on government welfare. And as the establishment shuts the economy down by design and forces people under, see, they're advertising the camps as if they're a good thing. They're advertising it as if it's going to be a community center, just like Hitler did or just like Stalin did. But let me just read you before I play this FBI video, and then we'll come back and I'll do a whole rant. You can ask any questions you want on air if that's what you'd like. The Gadsden flag is a historical American flag with a yellow field depicting a rattlesnake coiled and ready to strike. Positioned below the snake is the legend, "Don't tread on me." The flag was designed and is named after American general and statesman Christopher Gadsden. It was also used by the United States Marine Corps as early... Don't forget her mic, guys. The flag was designed and is named after American general and statesman Christopher Gadsden. It was also used by the United States Marine Corps as an early motto flag. So it must be bad. And this is the flag that Homeland Security in the report says is so deadly, so evil, so horrible, even though the Army and the Marine Corps and everybody else uses it. So I thought people should actually find out what it means. As the American Revolution grew closer, the snake began to see more use as a symbol of the colonies. In 1774, Paul Revere added it to the title of his paper, The Massachusetts Spy, as a snake joined to fight the British dragon. In December of 1775, Benjamin Franklin published an essay in the Pennsylvania Journal under the pseudonym American Gosser, in which he suggested that the rattlesnake was a good symbol for the American spirit. I recollect that her eyes excelled in brightness than that of any other animal, and that she has no eyelids. She may therefore be esteemed as an emblem of vigilance. She never begins an attack, nor when once engaged, ever surrenders. She is therefore an emblem of magnanimity and true courage. As if anxious to prevent all pretensions of quarreling with her, the weapon which nature has furnished her, she conceals in the roof of her mouth, so that to those who are unacquainted with her, she appears to be most defenseless animal. And even when those weapons are shown and extended for her defense, they appear weak and contemptible. But their wounds, however small, are decisive and fatal. Conscious of this, she never wounds till she has generously given notice, even to her enemy, and cautioned him against the danger of treading on her. Was I wrong, sir, in thinking that this is a strong picture of the temper of American conduct? So that is what the terrorist, Benjamin Franklin, had to say about the Gadsden flag. And why do I say terrorist? I have FEMA on video from 2000 shot by a firefighter in Kansas City. In the training seminar, and we've seen the training manual itself, this is the only time we were sent it being taught, said that the founding fathers are terrorists, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, they're terrorists, America's bad, these are the enemies of the federal government. And so we broke that as well. But a world exclusive right now, this was sent to us, this is a 2006 Quantico terrorist training video. This was sent to us by someone saying they were with the FBI. We've called the FBI, confirmed this is one of their training videos, but this is not on the web. First time it's ever been seen. Your taxpayer money paid for this paranoia, this induced schizophrenia to show police, military that are now involved in law enforcement illegally, and the FBI, that everyone's a terrorist. And that's why when you're with your family photographing the Washington Monument, police come over and ask why you're doing it. As if terrorists, real terrorists that weren't CIA or MI6, wouldn't go and just look at Google Earth or have a hidden camera. It's ridiculous. It's about training you that you're a terrorist. And the FBI is now saying they want to put TSA screeners in shopping malls and metal detectors, and they want to have them on street corners, and Viper teams with the federal marshals are out running checkpoints in Houston and Boston and New York and searching all the subway bags. The Amtrak trains. We're being trained to be prisoners. This is all part of a process of enslavement here in the managed economy. So here it is, in the next two segments. Let's just go ahead and play this Orwellian FBI internal training video, which is federalizing local police. Here it is.
Important information on terrorists and their allies. And the Terrorist Screening Center stands ready to help you. Before TSC was created in December 2003, the cop on the street had no way of knowing if someone he'd stopped was associated with terrorism. But now, TSC consolidates the terrorist lists of many agencies, and you connect to them automatically through NCIC. Whenever you run an NCIC name check, you connect with TSC, and running any name that's on our watch list will automatically give you a hit and some specific instructions on how to handle that person.
All right, pause right
category there. He's been designated.
Okay, now this is meant to, again, get the police not into responding to crime when it's happened, because the police will tell you it's not their job to protect you. They have no liability. They're there to respond and enforce the law, because they're elected by the municipal governments that are chartered for the local people under state law. But this is about the police thinking everybody's a terrorist. That's why everybody that gets pulled over now, including my dad, you know, a 60-year-old doctor, gets asked, where are you going? Or, you know, are you a terrorist? Because the police have now been turned into these proactive commissars. And now they're told, pull you over if you got a Ron Paul sticker. My dad got pulled over in East Texas driving back from visiting family. And they walked over. And they said, you come up in the watch list. You're the father of Alex Jones. And they're now dialing into these databases. This was about a year and a half ago. And he said, how do you know this? He said, well, we have a Reuters system, a LexisNexis. It all goes through this federal system. And the guy went ahead and told my dad he was a fan of the show, but just that the cameras the feds have put in their town read his license plate and flagged it. Remember 6 years ago, every car that goes through Florida town has plates run. That's already nationwide. And as they bring in these threat integration centers, all your local police are now being told they have this. Also, I saw a story in 2004, it's in my film Matrix of Evil, an article in the Green Bay News with the governor saying, oh, look, the feds just put in the new system in our threat integration center where if we want to look for somebody, we type up the name of their cell phone, their number, and it pops up in real time tracking them. Now they admit that. The Telecommunications Act of 96, by law, October 1st, 2001, passed in 96. All phones are GPS triangulated off the cell towers, tracked in real time. Now the local departments are phasing it in under federal control. They type in, they pull you up, they hit another key, turns the mic on your phone. They're introducing it to the slaves right now, the fluoride heads out there, as, if a child's lost, the police can dial in and listen. So they're also conditioning the police. So that's what this video is about. This is the feds fully turning the local police into secret police for the non-existent threat of terror when Oklahoma City, 9/11, and every other major terror event, Gulf of Tonkin, Operation Ajax, Operation Northwoods, many of them declassified, is staged terror. Declassified 2004 Army Training Manual. We'll pull that up and show it to the media. Teaches the Army how to stage false flag terror attacks. Army captains and above are taught how to stage terror attacks in America. This is like Canteen M16 terror attack manual. Carry out the terror. Hoorah! Let's go. Bring down America.